Straight ahead on 12 News, a disease with no cure.
And we believe that early detection leads to early interventions.
And one that requires patience. Plus,
this was a big change for the kids and a big change for the program.
Park Center band members choose to march in a new direction. But first, Brooklyn Park moves closer to a decision on a big road fix. 12 News starts right now. Everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Johnson.
And I'm Alexandra Renslow. The Brooklyn Park City Council is moving ahead towards a vote on a large road fix plan.
Nearly 80% of Brooklyn Park City streets are considered in need of major repairs over the next 10 to 15 years. They have deteriorated prematurely, and the problem is blamed on an old asphalt mix supplied by the state. To pay for the repairs, the City Council is leaning toward a franchise fee that would cost homeowners $14 a month. And some council members believe the cost will be much more if the city waits.
Do I want to do this? No. But do I really believe that we need to do this? And the answer is yes.
The franchise fee would show up on your gas and utility bills. A vote could happen at the October 26th council meeting.
In response to growing student enrollments, the Robbinsdale School Board has decided to reopen and renovate several schools. Sandburg in Golden Valley will reopen as a middle school starting in the fall of 2017. Pilgrim Lane in Plymouth will also reopen, and renovations will be made to Robbinsdale Middle School. The district will also acquire or lease space for an additional learning center. The school board made the decision so that construction can move forward, but a task force and additional advisory committee will now have time to decide which programs go in each building.
We have needs in the middle school that we're looking to address, and that's part of the task force. And I think it's wonderful that we're slowing down so that we can put absolutely stellar programs in the middle schools as we open them.
A decision to move Highview and alternative education programs out of Sandburg was put on hold pending further discussion.
A Brooklyn Park man is charged in a robbery of a Coon Rapids Subway sandwich shop. According to the criminal complaint, 30-year-old Jumoke Battles is accused of threatening two Subway workers with a knife while demanding money. After running off with cash, several bystanders were able to help authorities track down the suspect. The police are investigating whether Battles may be responsible for other North Metro robberies. Every 67 seconds, someone in the United States develops Alzheimer's disease.
It is a debilitating disease that affects a person's memory and ability to perform everyday activities. But as Delane Cleveland reports in today's Health Check, there are strategies to support people with Alzheimer's and dementia.
Well, I thank all of you for being here, and it's a pleasure to be invited to speak to all of you.
In a packed room at Brooklyn Park's Community Activity Center,
In a nutshell, Alzheimer's disease is a memory disorder.
more than 100 people came out early on a Saturday morning for a seminar to learn more about Alzheimer's and dementia.
It starts in the brain 15, 20 years before one has symptoms.
The group included people whose family members have been diagnosed.
We've noticed more motor functioning issues that are happening. We notice a lot more significant memory loss in terms of forgetting people that are close to her.
To those who are concerned about their own mental health as they age.
I'm way past 65, and every so often you see things happening, and I'm fairly active in a lot of activities, but every so often the memory is kind of not what it used to be.
A doctor was on hand to share the latest research with the group.
We're getting much more sophisticated in detecting this disease.
But this seminar also included speakers about how family members can become so-called Alzheimer's whisperers.
And we believe that early detection leads to early interventions. And when individuals are newly diagnosed with Alzheimer's, it's really a critical piece of time for them to really help to understand what that disease process is going to look like, to help prepare them with how to handle those types of life events.
Shannon McKenzie says one of the keys is for family members to try to create an aha moment with their ailing loved one, but that requires patience.
Being able to be flexible and creative and persistent is one of the most important things. Throw all expectations out the window.
Words of wisdom for those gathered here, and while there may not be any easy answers, any tidbit of advice can be helpful.
Being patient, taking time, let them be a little more independent, and utilizing the skills that they still do have.
Experts also advise people to start having conversations with your loved ones, much in the same way as you would plan for advanced healthcare directives. Ask your loved one the question, if you have a memory issue, what do you want your care to look like? And Mike and Alex, there are a number of resources out there for people who want to learn more about Alzheimer's and dementia. So we have a link on our website for that. It's at 12.tv.
All right. Thanks, Delane. Local residents are weighing in on what they think about living in Brooklyn Park, and the news for the city is pretty good. In a survey done by the Morris Leatherman Company, 88% said the quality of life in Brooklyn Park is either excellent or good. When it comes to pointing to the most serious issue, 28% said it's crime, while 28% said there is no serious issue or they don't know what that would be. Mayor Jeff Lundy says it shows community engagement efforts are right on track.
We don't want to say, hey, we're there, you know, a great mission accomplished, let's fold up shop. We've still got work to do, make sure we keep people connecting with each other, and we know that's the value in that. I think people, they look throughout the city to see construction, they see things happening. It tends to make people feel better about their city. And also I think that we are doing much better job of outreach to different communities.
The mayor says the city may need new goals after more than 90% of residents say they are proud to live in Brooklyn Park and agree it's a thriving community.
30 years ago, Don Rosen saw a need and started the first Coats for Kids drive based at Pilgrim Cleaners in Brooklyn Park. Well, Rosen died last week at the age of 94, but his legacy lives on as thousands of winter coats are collected for needy families every year. His daughter Bonnie Engler says it all started in 1986 with one woman who came into the cleaners and asked for a coat for her son.
A woman came to one of the front counters and asked, my dad happened to be by the counters, wanted to know if we had an extra coat for her son because she couldn't afford to buy him a coat. And he was able to come up with one, but realized that there was a need.
Rosen went to TV stations and newspapers to start Coats for Kids. Engler says he was proud to know that the drive is continuing with a goal of 10,000 coats this year. You can drop off a coat through October 9th at any Pilgrim Cleaners. Now to a Brooklyn Park program that is changing the lives of young adults who are deaf or hard of hearing.
The Vector program serves young people from all over the metro with special needs. And as Cassie Bonstrom reports, a big grant will now help this underserved population.
Welcome, you look beautiful.
For the past 2 years, Cynthia Benson has been coming to this Brooklyn Park school.
Excellent.
To learn all sorts of skills she'll need to live independently.
Great.
The 20-year-old is deaf and communicates by using sign language with the help of an interpreter.
Oh, so I would need to give you a second dollar.
Yes.
In addition to the daily challenges she faces, she also moved here from Liberia and had to adapt to a new culture.
I really struggled to learn sign language. Because African Sign Language and American Sign Language are different.
It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Fortunately, Cynthia and more than 60 other students have found support from the Vector program, part of Intermediate School District 287, which offers classes and support for students all across the metro who have complex needs.
180-degree peripheral vision.
The Vector program offers specialized services like driver's ed for the deaf and college prep courses.
You know, they've taught me how to use a syllabus and important things like being on time, how to check my grades, and just being more independent.
And now, thanks to a $500,000 state grant, even more services will be offered to help those students who are deaf achieve their dreams.
Traditionally, this is a very underserved population.
Tina Sunda is the Vector program facilitator. She says the grant will help pay for services, including a specialist to help with employment and communication issues.
She helps take our students and get them ready for the world of work, create resumes with them, practice interviewing skills, and then connect them with either paid internships that are provided through this grant or connect them with independent work experience.
So that's $1.
That type of support helped Cynthia land a retail job, and while she looks ahead at what's next in life, she feels indebted to the program who got her this far.
$349.
She knows the grant will only help more students like her.
I've learned a lot. I'm definitely feeling more ready for college.
In Brooklyn Park, I'm Cassie Bonstrom, 12 News.
The grant goes through next June and is funded by the Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development. Coming up, a different way for Park Center to strike up the band.
And then later in sports, Brooklyn Center clashes with West Lutheran on the volleyball court. We'll have the highlights.
But first, cooler and calm, 60s and sunshine on Wednesday. The award-winning Park Center Marching Band is doing something it's never done before.
The band is making some changes to allow more people to catch their performances. Reporter Sonia Goins explains.
Members of the Marching Pirates hit the field Monday night to perfect their performance.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Practice is really important now. For the first time since the program first started, the band is shifting its focus from parades to field performances.
This was a big change for the kids and a big change for the program.
The Pirates will now perform during halftime shows at football games and other athletic events.
Well, the difference is that our performance area doesn't move. When we're in a parade, you do a show and it's always based on where you are in relationship to everyone else.
The Pirates made the change this summer to allow more people to see their shows. Normally the band performs in parades all across the state, making it hard for hometown fans to see them.
I like this better because our school gets to see us. And that's a big deal, performing for our peers.
The band will still sound and look the same for the most part.
We have the same style of marching, the same kinds of formation, it's just on a little bit bigger scale.
But band members will have to adjust to different marching orders.
There were different techniques that we had to learn this year. Because field marching is different from parade marching.
I play the snare drum.
Aaron likes the creativity of field performances.
You get to work on more choreography in the show for the fall.
While others like the old way of doing things.
I kind of like the parades better because it's more physical.
But everyone agrees the marching band is not just about performing. It's also forming friendships.
This is my first year and I met a lot of cool people and had a lot of fun.
And valuable life lessons.
If you don't do the right thing, you're not really going to suffer for it, but the entire band isn't going to look as good as it could.
In Brooklyn Park, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
The Pirates will continue to participate in band competitions. Well, coming up, the Northwest Metro's version of the Spice Girls.
But first in sports, a young Wayzata girls soccer team is perfect through the first half of a tough conference schedule. John Jacobson has their story and more when we come back.
The Wayzata girls soccer team starts its second time through the Lake Conference schedule Tuesday evening. It's so far so good for the Trojans. Fifth-ranked Wayzata has a perfect 4-0 in Lake Conference games heading into their matchup with Edina Tuesday. The Trojans are 8-2-1 overall despite a Saturday loss to Cretin-Derham Hall. It's a young team that's come together well.
I feel really good. We've all been playing really well together, especially in the last few weeks, so I'm really excited for what we're going to do this year.
Things are going in the right direction. We're seeing good progress. We're seeing the kids meshing together pretty well, which is always a difficult thing when you've got them coming in from so many different age groups and teams at the club level, and then you're trying to get everybody to play on the same page. That takes a little bit of time, but we're moving in the right direction and we're pleased with our progress.
The Trojans had to watch the state tournament last fall after Hopkins eliminated them in the Section 6AA final. Teams play for the second time Thursday night. The memory of that playoff loss still stings.
Because of last year, we're really motivated to make it to state this year, and we've been working really hard. That's our goal. So
we'll have the Wayzata Hopkins girls game live on Channel 12 and 12.tv Thursday night at 7. Wayzata's girls are one of a handful ranked in the state's weekly top 10 girls and boys state polls. Egan is ranked #1 in Class AA girls, with Lakeville North ranked 2nd. Mounds View is 3rd, followed by Eden Prairie and then Wayzata in the top 5. Benilde St. Margaret's continues to hold the top spot in Class A girls soccer ahead of Montevideo, Orono, Visitation, and De La Salle. Totino Grace is 7th and Blake 8th this week. North St. Paul continues to hold the top spot in Class 2A boys soccer, followed by Minnetonka and Edina. Park Center is ranked 4th this week with Maple Grove 9th. And in Class A boys soccer, Holy Angels is #1 with Orono 2nd. Then it's 3rd-ranked Hermantown and Breck at #4. Benilde and Totino Grace are also in the top 10. In high school volleyball Monday night, Brooklyn Center hosted West Lutheran. First set, the Centaurs' Janelle Whaley sets to Sandy Thompson for the big swing and kill. BC leads 15-11. But the Warriors fight back. Maria Tripp digs the ball up off the serve. Carrie Price the set. And Samantha Paul a kill. And West Lutheran wins the first set 25-23. In the second set, West wins again. Carly Bursch and Laura Studansky for the kill. West Lutheran wins 25-19 to go up 2-0. The third set is close. Miranda Wahlberg Quick kill in the middle for West, tying the score at 23. But the Centaurs score the final 2 points, including this one on the kill from Thompson. And Brooklyn Center wins 25-23. West Lutheran comes back to win the 4th set and the match. Paul with another kill as the Warriors win in 4 over Brooklyn Center. As you saw a moment ago, the Park Center boys soccer team is ranked 4th this week in Class AA. On this week's Sports Jam show on Channel 12, Jay Wilcox profiles 2 of the Pirates' leaders. Here's a clip from that story.
For Park Center senior forward Sam Moses, number 13, and senior defender Craig Kaiser, number 7, this season's been a blast.
Amazing. We, as a group, we just work, click together, and we just keep producing.
It's been exciting, just like because of the chemistry for me, because throughout my whole Park Center career, like chemistry hasn't really been there. Like we always had talent. There's always been talent on this team. Eddie Sadie, Alec Tao, players like that. But now we have talent with chemistry, and we have like our whole roster is talented. It's not just 12. Like last year we had a starting 12. Now we have a starting 20.
You can watch the story on Moses and Kaiser and much more on Sports GM. It's on each Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 3:30, 6:30, and 9:30 p.m. on Channel 12. And that's Look at Sports for today.
All right, thanks, John. Still ahead, you won't find Posh Ginger or Sporty.
But you will find Clover, Nutmeg, and Poppy meet the newest Spice Girls when we come back. Well, finally, a story with sugar and a lot of spice.
Make that 6 spices, in fact. Born from a mom named Sugar, these are the new Spice Girls: sage, poppy, cayenne, clover, nutmeg, and saffron. These adorable labs were taken in by the New Hope nonprofit Can Do Canines. The group oversees volunteers who help train the animals to eventually become service dogs. And there's always a need for volunteers.
We need people to take them in for about 4 to 6 weeks, sometimes a little bit longer, and socialize them, get them used to getting nail trims, get them out in public. Even as little butterballs, they still have to get out in public.
After spending time with volunteers, the dogs receive more extensive obedience training through a unique prison inmate program. And once the dogs are fully trained, they can either become hearing service dogs or assist children with autism. Somehow I think their call for volunteers might go quickly, right?
Right now they're pretty darn cute,
yes,
aren't they?
that's right. That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
Stay with us. Community Corner is coming up next, and we'll see you back here again tomorrow.